Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Yo, We Bucket fam, what's happening? What's happening? This is your host, Big Daddy C, host of the All Elite Recap, where we recap all things AEW, such as mainly the AEW Dynamite show, and we talk about a little fallout from any of the pay-per-views and Collision as well. So for this particular week, we're going to focus on essentially aftermath of the AEW Revolution and the show that followed last night's episode of Dynamite. So starting out to kick out the show, we have a promo from the new AEW International Champion, Kenny Omega. And so basically he came out there talking about, celebrating his win with the fans. He did give props to Takeshita and promised to be a great international champion, and basically starting to turn his focus to the Dynasty Eliminator tournament. Whoever wins that tournament is going to face off against him for the championship. And he's moving. He did announce that he's moving past the Don Callis family, so we'll see if they allow that to happen, because I feel like it's never over between those guys and Kenny. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Next up, we have Shibata, who stared down Kenny Omega before the Ops headed to the ring for their match against local competitors. And we're moving on to this match. They will face off against Vinny Pacifico, Eli DeSayas, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Gabriel Eros. And so this match was pretty much a squash. Ops, pretty much ran through these guys like it was nothing. It was over before it began. And Shibata sealed the win with a PK to Vinny Pacifico. So essentially just another week with the Ops just destroying local competitors or lesser trio teams. I think it's about that time to start putting them against more established teams so they can go ahead and get a matchup with the Deathriders for those AEW trios titles. And so that will be great to see. I wouldn't even be opposed to them going against the Undisputed Kingdom, before that, because they're also, lobbying to try to get a shot at that those AEW trios titles. So next up, we will have a backstage segment with Ricochet, basically warning Shibata who he will be facing in the first round. Hey, you're standing in my way. I'm trying to get at this AEW International Championship, and I'm going to beat you essentially. So that's pretty much what that segment was about. Next up, Excalibur would announce a street fight rematch between Jon Moxley and Cope for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. We know the fallout from the pay-per-view. It was a grueling match between the two, between Cope and Moxley. And Christian would cash in only to get choked out. And so Mox is still the champion, of course. Cope will find Swerve Strickland. I'm sorry, y'all. Swerve Strickland, and warned that he planned to fight him at Dynasty after dethroning Moxley next week. Moxley will call Cope a man with excuses in his little promo, and promised to beat him definitively next week. Next up, we have a matchup with Hologram and Hobbs. Accompanied by Harley Graham, and then they're going against Brian Cage and Dralistico, accompanied by Beast Mortals. And so Brian Cage pretty much had the control throughout this match until Powerhouse Hobbs set up his own chest as a springboard for a hologram to take out Cage outside. So that was a real cool moment throughout this match. And so I wasn't too familiar with. I try to get all the highlights. I know mainly Hologram was on Collision a lot, so I wasn't really too familiar with his game. But now I am starting to get more familiar with this game. This dude is nice. He is nice in the ring. I give him that. And so Hobbs would eventually lay out Jalistico with a spine buster in midair for the win. So this match was not bad. Did seem kind of random for like just the mixture of the two teams, but it was pretty solid. And so next up we would have a let's see here. After the match, you had basically Lance Archer and Mark Davis staring down Hobbs and questioned Realistico for letting down Brian Cage. So that's an interesting development there. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks in regards to that. Toni Storm, who retained her championship, came out there. Basically, celebrating as well, gave her, her promo, basically saying that now that her rivalry with Mariah May is done, she essentially, told anybody in the women's division, hey, step up. If you want some of this, come get it. And so while she's posing, you had Megan Bain come out of nowhere and just attacks her and lays her out. So that's what happened with that segment there. So I'm interested to see this matchup between Megan Bain and Toni Storm. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, we have let me see. MVP. We had a segment where he declared it was time for the Hurt Syndicate, to have fun, but Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin planned to go back into the gym first. So that was a little segment there. Next up, we have the Dynasty Eliminator Tournament match. This is the first round. We had the Beast Mortals versus a speedball Mike Bailey, who was making his AEW debut. This match was pretty good. This is my first time, being introduced to Mike Bailey. So he kind of reminds me of Ricky Steamboat in a way. He's like a much younger, modern version of him. This dude is the truth, man. He's one of those high flying guys that can really wow you. And he had a moonsault knee drop that he hit throughout in the match, and he finished off the win with a spinning round. It was a double spin roundhouse kick, which was really, really amazing to see. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And so we'll see what happens with Mr. Bailey in the next round. And so he is definitely all elite, officially all elite as of yesterday. Next up, we had let's see here. We had another backstage segment with Christian Cage. He was trying to excuse his loss at Revolution. Essentially, Christian, he gives every excuse you can think of. It's almost like with WWE when he had the whole one more match gimmick. And while he was giving his excuses or whatever it is, Nick Wayne would cut him off, saying, "Hey, it's just excuses. You're lying. You owe the patriarchy an apology." And then eventually Christian he cut that, he nipped that shit in the bud, like, man, who you think you're talking to? For one, essentially that's what he said other shit, but it was almost like, who you think you're talking? Like, who do you think you are? Like, there's levels to this. Do not ever step to me like that again. And then he pushed him first. And then his mama got in the way. It was like, hey, whoa, what you doing? Hey, I'll make sure you back working shifts at the Waffle House. You keep fucking with me. He said, say what you want. Chill out. And she was like, all right, cool. All right. So eventually, Christian Cage, man, he's like, hey, look, listen, want my contract back. And so we'll see what happens, man. Christian Cage, man, that man goated, bro. That one of the best things he can do is leave WWE again. Because believe it or not, his runs in TNA and his run in AEW is a hell of a lot better than anything he did as a solo competitor in WWE. Tag team is we not even talking about tag teams because him and Edge, one of the best to ever do it. One of the top, and definitely my top 5 for tag teams all time. In WWE, you know, so that, but as a solo competitor, his TNA run, his AEW run, hell of a lot better than anything he did as a solo competitor in WWE. So those are my thoughts on that particular segment. We'll see what happens with Christian Cage in the coming weeks. Next up, we have a promo here with we had MJF and MVP. So MJF he came out there, you know, giving his little promo. Basically giving out excuses after his loss to Hangman Adam Page at AEW Revolution. MVP will come out there and interrupt him, saying, "Hey, you know, maybe you need to think about joining the Hurt Syndicate because wherever we go, championships follow." And MJF was like, "Man, look, I was AEW World Champion for what 400 some days. Like, bro, I'm good." And then MVP was like, "All right, key thing to that, the key word to that was you ain't champion no more. So you've been having a tough time trying to be champion again. So maybe you need to, you know, join the Hurt Syndicate and we can try to make something happen." So, and he gave him a card, his business card. So I don't think MJF gonna join this Hurt Syndicate. It'll be weird anyway. It'll be a weird dynamic. So I don't think he's gonna join them. But you know, it's typical MVP always trying to get guys to join the group. He did that with the Hurt Business in WWE. You know, he was able to get some guys, but he's never really been able to get a main guy like a top guy. You know, not a mid-card status guy, like a main event guy. He's never been able to get a main event guy to join the group, you know, that already included Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. And so we'll see what happens with this, man. I highly doubt MJF is going to do this. So next up, we have, let's see. We had MJF heading to the ring. Well, before MJF headed to the ring, you had interviewer Lexi Nair try to get some words from him in the locker room, but he smashed the mirror and shouted her off before then. And so now there is some history backstory here with MJF and MVP. They have some history going back 10 years where 18-year-old MJF was trying to pick his brain in the business as he was getting his start. And so a little backstory there in regards to that. Later, MJF will run into Hangman and promise to walk past him to win the world title again and again. And so it's not going to be over between Hangman and MJF. It's never going to be over. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with these two, man. Next up, we had an open challenge: Max Caster versus Takeshita. I was doing good till I screwed up. Takeshita. All right. So Max Caster is doing his little best wrestler alive open challenge. He's getting embarrassed almost every week. You know, it's Takeshita came out there, did what he had to do, kicked this man ass, finished him off with the Raging Fire to win the match. And that was how that ended. And so next up, it did give a good win for Takeshita after losing his championship to Kenny Omega at AEW Revolution. It's not over. Takeshita, I think he's going to get his rematch in due time. So we'll see what happens with him. He's not in the Dynasty Eliminator tournament. So we'll see what happens down the line. Hell, he might even get included in the triple threat match. Who knows? But in the meantime, he still has he's still the never over open weight champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so he has that to defend in the coming weeks or so. And so next up, we had another segment where Chris Jericho was in a private room and he was mocking Bandito while he held Gravity's mask. This was a weird promo, but it was one of the best promos Jericho has cut in a while. Showing he can ramp it up when need be. Like some of his stuff may come off as goofy, but like for the most part, Jericho's man. Love him or hate him. There's a lot of shit I don't agree with when it comes to him, but for the most part, he's still goated, man. He one of the best to ever do it, like for real. And so next up, we have one of my sweethearts, one of my babies, man. I love me some Willow Nightingale, man. Love this woman. Oh man, she is incredibly beautiful, man. So she had her match against Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford, throughout this match, she countered almost everything Willow threw at her. But Willow hit her with a nice cutter, man. She hit Willow with a cutter. Willow would eventually counter the second cutter attempt into the pounce for the win. I like this pounce move she got, man. It's nice. Like it fits her well. Like it's awesome. Now here's where aftermath of the match was kind of weird. It was just like, bro, really, Van. So Penelope would proceed to attack Willow with a steel chair after the match. She attacked her, with force the first time around, hit her in the gut, but when she went for the chair shot over the back, it was like she's like, boop, little soft ass chair shot. I'm like, what we doing here? What we doing, fam? Like what's up? And so eventually Chris Statlander would come out there to make the save. Her and Willow, some history there. They were best friends, and then Chris Statlander turned on her, and now Willow she ain't trusting her right now. She's like, "No, I don't trust you, fam. You turned your back on me. Now you trying to be cool again? Shit." And eventually Megan Bain will pop up out of nowhere and lay out Willow and Statlander. So Megan Bain, man, she out here just laying waste to everybody. She making some noise. She's trying to get her a shot at the AEW Women's Championship. So she letting the whole division know, like, hey, I'm here for all of y'all, bro. Like all of y'all about to get this work. So be prepared. Like, hey, look, hey, have eyes in the back of your head. Look, hey, watch over your shoulder, because if you don't, I'm gonna lay you out at any given moment. So that's what type of time Megan Bain is on right now. So we'll see what happens. Next up, we have another backstage segment. Mercedes Moné struggling to speak due to bruises suffered at the hands of Momo Watanabe. Billy Starks would eventually challenge the CEO to a TBS championship match next week. So that should be an interesting matchup there. Next up, we have Will Ospreay, who enters the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, a tournament that is held every year for AEW in honor of the late, great Owen Hart. And so Tony Schiavone was talking to Will Ospreay, who said he needed to go home for a while to make it up to his real-life partner, Alex Winsdor. He set his course upon his return, basically promising to win the tournament and contend for a world title at All In. That is also a part of the tournament win. Besides the trophy or the belt itself, the Owen Hart belt, you get a future shot at the AEW World Championship. So he is definitely dead set on that. And he gave a real heart-wrenching promo, like a promo from the heart, saying, "Hey, I want to be AEW champion because these people trust me to be AEW champion. So I'm coming for the title. So be on the lookout." Next up, we have Renee Paquette interviewing Jay White, who said he will redeem himself next week by helping Cope. There was some little friction and errors where he accidentally hit Cope with the briefcase. He also warned Swerve Strickland about getting in his way as he pursues the world title. So there's a lot of people coming for that AEW world title. So hey, it ain't nothing sweet out here. This is a good time of the year, man, for AEW, because they got all the tournaments coming about. So I believe believe Double or Nothing might be coming up soon. I got to look. I got to see what's happening with that. Next up, we have another Dynasty Eliminator Tournament match. We got Orange Cassidy versus Hishiro, how do you say that name? I don't know. But yeah, so basically throughout in this match, you had Hishiro wrapping up Orange Cassidy throughout this match, wearing him down limb by limb. But eventually, Freshly Squeezed would escape with a win with a mousetrap pin. So after the match, Speedball Mike Bailey came out there basically showing his respect. Hey, congratulations. I'm waiting for you. Like, we gonna see you in this match, man. And so nice little match. I think this was the best match of the night. Showcasing what these two dudes can do in the ring, man. Good chemistry. Hishiro has a nice cerebral style. Wore out Orange Cassidy. Almost brought him to this breaking point, but Orange Cassidy prevailed. And so this was, Orange Cassidy has been one of the mainstays of AEW ever since they started. And, he's been two-time AEW International Champion already. So he's definitely trying to get another shot at that down the line. So we'll see if he can go ahead and win this tournament. Best of luck to him and the other competitors. And so next up, let me see here. That was the main event. It was a great show, man. Very action-packed. Nice show coming off a pay-per-view. Normally, it's hard to put out an action-packed show after pay-per-view, especially the likes of what AEW Revolution had. Man, they had some 5-star matches all throughout the card, man. I'm gonna go back and watch it as well. I mainly just saw the highlights. I'm gonna go back and watch the full pay-per-view from start to finish, and see just how great the stuff was. That is the All Elite Recap show. Thanks for all who's going to tune in and watch this once it gets uploaded to YouTube. We're actually going to stream it, live streaming on Twitch as well later on. And so continue to like, share, subscribe to the podcast. We're on all social media platforms, Facebook, IG, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Apple Music, Spotify. We're still trying to get things figured out in terms of getting things uploaded there. And then we're also on TikTok. I actually have a page where I'm doing skits, memes, all this other stuff, reaction videos to pay-per-views, TV shows, all that involving wrestling. So just be on the lookout. That page is called the We Book It Bros Network. So go check out that page. Still in the process of working on some stuff skit wise. And so me and the guys just working up some stuff. So be on the lookout for future content. So I'm your host, Big Daddy C. This is the All Elite Recap show. We'll catch you tomorrow. I won't be on recording with the fellas for the SmackDown recap, SmackDown Throwdown, Hoedown, whatever you want to call it. I won't be on with the fellas tomorrow, but they should be recording for the show after the show tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. So checking out. Peace.